Justin, you're in study startup and site readiness. And so what kind of studies are you starting up and what does that look like?
My position is a mouthful. It's quite long. But basically, when we have clinical trials that come in, the study startup is one of the first phases of a clinical trial. So we basically have to get research sites up and running under a specific timeline. And so that's the basis of study startup. And there are three specific milestones we have to meet. One is that we need to have IRB approval at sites, a contract between the site and the sponsor in place, and all of the regulatory documents. And so it's a really incredibly fast-paced environment because there's a lot of pressure from the sponsors to really get these studies started as quickly as possible. So it's the reason why I like this role is because it's really versatile. So you could be reviewing an ICF, you can be on a phone with a PI or a site, informed consent, spewing out terminology here, but just the sheer diversity of tasks that you have to do makes the role really interesting. And then also you have to meet those deadlines. And so a lot of the studies that we work on, most of them are oncology studies. I have done a few studies within cardiology, neurology as well. But a lot of the studies that are coming in are oncology studies.
And when you say you have to get the site ready, when you talk about a site, is this like a research hospital, like a Memorial Sloan Kettering or a UCSF? I mean, I don't know if you can give specific names of who you work with, but what are examples of sites that are doing research?
Yeah, so I think that there's a wide variety of different sites. So I've worked with academic medical institutions like Memorial Sloan Kettering, Dana-Farber Cancer Institute, UCSF, a lot of research centers in California. But what I've also worked with is a lot of smaller sites. Sometimes I've worked with independent sites, site networks, which are like groups of different sites. So there's a wide variety of different types of sites that we work with.
Yeah, so these are hospitals and doctors' offices, and the three things you're doing to get them ready with regulatory, with IRB, with contract, like these are all things we learn about in class. And if you don't have that background on what are the regulatory documents and what do these contracts look like and how that someone thinks they may know about research, but you need a little bit more training and support to get you to that place where you can jump in. And it was probably a steep learning curve even after taking our course and getting hired. Is that correct? What was the onboarding like for you?
Well, the first thing back when it was Covance, like 3 years ago, it was they assigned us a ton of SOPs to read. And even for someone like me, is like I love to read. It was tough just absorbing all of those things. And I think the one thing was that, especially when you're in study startup and you're placed onto a study, there's just this perception that, okay, you have to go. It's like you're put on a conveyor belt and you have to just learn this stuff as you go. And I was very fortunate that, apart from my knowledge from Fastrack, I also had a really compassionate mentor who was also assigned to the same study. So she was in the position that I was in right now. She's a project manager now, and she really kind of guided me through some of these nuances. And then after a couple of months, I mean, I basically leveraged my knowledge from Fastrack and really, really worked hard to understand what I was doing. And I think in 3 months, I was competent to kind of work on my own.
Yeah, so there is a lot of onboarding. There's a lot to learn even once you get out of our program. But the beauty is you're constantly learning. And this is a profession where people who love to learn are in the best place because there's always new trials, new protocols, and new ways to advance medicine